Episode 1 of Bloody Flower begins with a serial killer terrorizing Guam City. 10 people have gone missing, and the latest is a man called Hong Jae-kwon. The culprit is Lee Woo-kyum, who medically experiments on his victims. The cops finally get a lead and corner Woo-kyum while he's treating his cancer patient Lee Chang-se. Detective Gong tries to deter prosecutor Cha E-yun from being present during the arrest, but she doesn't budge. Now Woo-kyum is eerily calm and even tries to negotiate some time so that he can finish his treatment. Prosecutor Cha has no sympathy as the cops find dismembered corpses at his place. Next we see defense attorney Park Han-jun, who has gone from taking socially unfair cases to defending rich culprits for money. It turns out his young daughter, Park Min-seo, suffers from Batten disease and he has had to scrounge up $2 million for a new clinical treatment. He doesn't tell his wife, but the doctor Moon Se-guk, who promised him the cure, has gone missing. Back to Woo-kyum's case, Prosecutor Cha is a self-righteous, no-nonsense bulldozer who is also the youngest daughter of the rich and influential Seijin Group. But since she only cares about justice and hard facts, she is being overlooked for promotions. It gets on her nerves when everyone believes that she will just go running back home when she fails as a prosecutor. She privately interrogates Woo-kyum, who seems to know all about her from the internet. He claims he has experimented on 17 victims, who then died, and has developed a cure for any and all incurable diseases. He's annoyed when she shows no interest in his cure but actually speaks to him about his crimes. And she is frustrated that he doesn't understand the gravity of what he's done. On to Han-jun, it breaks his heart to see that Min-seo has no friends and wishes to go home. He vows to give her a normal life soon, and fate answers that in the form of reporter Jo Woo-chu, who is in touch with Woo-kyum. The reporter Jo was an activist as well, until the prosecution sued him and he lost his job. Now he writes clickbait articles and chases views to support himself. He reveals that he will get a handsome commission if he convinces Han-jun to defend Woo-kyum. Unfortunately, Woo-kyum is able to lure Han-jun by revealing that Moon Se-guk is one of his victims. To make matters worse, he claims that Se-guk never had any cure. Han-jun is upset and further overwhelmed when Woo-kyum offers him the $2 million he has lost as his fee, and as the cherry on top, he will also cure Min-seo. Now Han-jun hesitates here, worried how the killer knows about his problems, and Woo-kyum suggests meeting his success stories. He also stays true to his word and pays Han-jun $1 million when he leaves. The lawyer wonders of Jo's role in all this, and the reporter reveals that Woo-kyum approached him a week before his arrest. He paid Jo to find his cured patients and write an article. However, they only know of 2 patients, Lee Chang-se and Sang-woo, a boy with polio. An autopsy of the dismembered bodies shows that Woo-kyum used the compound much before the US discovered it. The prosecutor Cha learns that Woo-kyum was a brilliant student whose medical career was derailed after he went into a coma for 3 years and lost his mother. All his victims also happen to be criminals, but she doesn't care, as murder is murder. She decides to find the remaining dead bodies so that he cannot use them as a bargaining chip for a lighter sentence. She puts the Guam cops on the search, but it backfires as the public believe they are wasting manpower based on hearsay. The chief prosecutor is pressured and he orders prosecutor Cha to take another approach. She pretends to be interested in Woo-kyum's clinical trial, but doesn't really care when he declares that his trial is a success and that he always planned to turn himself in afterwards. In exchange for her attention, she demands the locations of the remaining dead bodies. He gives in and the cops soon find the bodies on a mountain. The last victim, Hong Jae-kwon, is drained of all blood. At the same time, reporter Jo and Han-jun finally find Sang-woo. His polio is, in fact, cured as he goes from using a wheelchair to now walking. A flashback shows why Woo-kyum cooperates. In exchange for the dead bodies' location, he wants a plea deal. The deal was for prosecutor Cha to help Woo-kyum prove to the court that he can indeed cure any incurable disease without even lifting a scalpel. Episode 2 of Bloody Flower begins with prosecutor Cha E-yun stating that she will be seeking the death penalty for Woo-kyum. Seeing that attorney Park Han-jun still doubts him, Woo-kyum tells him his backstory of how he went into a 3-year coma after a car accident. He woke up due to a blood mutation, but the side effect was unexplainable bouts of pain. With no cure, he started experimenting on his own body until he found a cure. This convinces Han-jun to take him on as a client. Of course, the fickle public goes from blaming the cops to wanting a death penalty for Woo-kyum. Prosecutor Cha's game plan is to prove that Woo-gyum's motives are not altruistic but psychopathic, premeditated and vengeful. His first victim was the hit-and-run driver who put him in a coma, and if he was simply taking a clinical approach, he wouldn't have tortured and brutally butchered his victims. The whole time Woo-gyum laughs and scoffs, which earns him no sympathy from the court. As a Hail Mary, Han-jin declares that he will bring in 6 witnesses who have all been cured by Woo-gyum. However, he is bluffing as he hasn't actually found anyone. To make matters worse, he believes that Woo-gyum is a psychopath as well, but the latter doesn't care. Woo-gyum points out that if he wins, he will be able to cure Han-jin's sick daughter, Min-se, but if he gets the death penalty, well... Han-jin realises he has no choice as Min-se continues to get worse, and his wife, Jae-hee, a doctor, believes that nothing much can be done for their daughter. He decides to manipulate public opinion by having reporter Woo Chol trash the prosecution for disregarding medical advancement. The higher-ups are absolutely furious, but Prosecutor Cha doesn't seem to be deterred. Now on to the witnesses. Sang-woo's mother refuses to testify as she's scared of exposing her son. There's Mingyu, who has been cured of Batten disease, the same one that Min-se suffers from, but no one can find him. Han-jin suggests submitting Woo-gyum's research and is directed to a red notebook, but instead of finding it, he catches a boy filming Woo-gyum's clinic on a dare. Prosecutor Cha isn't sitting still either, as she puts Woo-gyum in isolation as a way to corner him. We see that the inmates have decided to target him, so Prosecutor Cha also gets a search warrant for reporter Joe on the grounds of defamation. However, Han-jin loopholes his way out of it and saves their files. Reporter Joe wonders about their beef and Han-jin reveals that he was Prosecutor Cha's teacher back when she was a student. Things seem to be looking up as his old junior, Mingyu, offers to join the team. As a people person, she easily convinces Sang-woo's mother to testify. She also sways Song Tae-jin, a survivor who was cured of blood cancer. However, both Sang-woo's mum and Tae-jin have received threatening letters from Woo-gyum. Mingyu is able to assure them of protection, but Han-jin is furious with Woo-gyum's accidental sabotage. He orders the doctor to run all his ideas by him first, and this doesn't sit well with Woo-gyum. At the next hearing, Sang-woo's mother testifies in Woo-gyum's favour, but the win is short-lived as Prosecutor Cha brings in a forensics expert who claims that Sang-woo didn't have polio, but Segwa disease, which is curable. Now Song Tae-jin freaks out and refuses to testify upon hearing this, and Prosecutor Cha convinces the judge to make him her witness, and it's all downhill from there. He reveals that he has relapsed and Woo-gyum is a con man. Now Han-jin is upset and tries to confront Tae-jin, which Cha notices. After the hearing, she approaches Tae-jin alone and he reveals that he didn't believe Woo-gyum had cured him. This is why he resumed his treatment, and it is how he relapsed. Cha recalls Woo-gyum warning her not to let Chang-se be operated on by anyone else as it would interfere and ruin his treatment. This means Woo-gyum is not at fault here, but Tae-jin is. Unaware of this revelation, Han-jin and Woo-gyum argue and blame each other for the way the trial is going. Woo-gyum insists that all he wants is to cure people, but Han-jin doesn't believe him. Finally, Woo-gyum asks if Han-jin can handle his true motive. So Bloody Flower gets off to a great start here, and episode 2 in particular is even better than the previous chapter. While the previous one wasted precious time on search missions and a bit of info dumping, this one is able to balance out that exposition and plot progression a lot smoother. Through the trial, we learn more about Prosecutor Cha and Han-jin's dynamic, Woo-gyum's impulsive tendencies, and reporter Joe's role in the story. The K-drama was starting to feel a little sparse, but Mingyoung's arrival comes just at the right time and fills up the screen, even though her character is like Joe's, to push the narrative ahead. But what seals the deal is the ambiguity involving the main trio's motives. So far, Prosecutor Cha is shown to be a righteous person who refuses to resort to dirty tricks to win. So does that mean she will reveal Tae-jin's mistake? Then we have Han-jin, who has never truly believed Woo-gyum. It makes one wonder if he will give up on his daughter or chase a pipe dream now that he thinks Woo-gyum is a con man. Then there's Woo-gyum himself, who has insisted that everything he has done is out of altruism, to save people. And while he may act as a psychopath, he did say he wanted to turn himself in to absolve himself from his sins. So how bad can his true motive really be? I guess we'll have to wait until next week, but for now all we can say is, well played Bloody Flower, well played. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.